Welcome back. Welcome back. We are here and we are ready to go. We've got our drivers in the server, and we're ready to get this party started. Dan, you ready to party?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm always ready to party. You know.
All right, man. Yeah, no, we're gonna let them finish up these couple of practice runs here. Drivers are door to door now. So we got our qualifying done, and now we're hopping in to the heightened time. Let's see who's gonna be our victor today. There was a lot of style, a lot of action being thrown down in the qualifying runs, and I'm excited to see what direction we end up going. These battles. I mean, the aggression just in practice is. I'm excited. A lot of energy here.
Yeah, the show's going to start. Definitely a different vibe going into it. We're going to see a lot more variation, not just, the same run over and over again. We're going to be able to see really what the drivers can do with each other.
Oh, yeah, and we got our bracket that just flashed across the screen there for a moment. We'll have B. Reeves going against Michael Barris up first. Those two are going to get themselves ready. Everyone's going to finish up their practice runs. They're going to be hopping on into these battles.
Hope you all had a nice little break. Got locked back in. They got some fresh air. We'll stretch the legs. The heat is not gonna get turned down for a little while here.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually, if anything, it's gonna get a lot hotter. Yeah, it's gonna get a lot hotter as it goes on. Sun peaks up, the track's gonna get warm. Tensions are gonna get high. We're gonna have a great time. I cannot wait. I am trying to get as much as I can set up on my end here. But we'll be ready to go. I'm always ready to go. Always ready to ride. These drivers are throwing it down already. So before too long, we're setting it off.
A lot of great cars on this great track. Once again, this track a little more focused on being able to battle closely. It's a more intuitive track than previous rounds, and that's going to allow the drivers to not worry too much about the track and more worry about the battle they're in and the driver they're going against.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good way to put it, man. It's definitely going to be a battle of skill, I think. I think it'll be surprising if we see any drivers battling themselves. We see that from time to time, but I don't know. I'd be surprised to see that this time. These drivers are locked in and ready to go for sure. Yeah, I think an area of the track that I can't wait to see drivers battle it out in is, I think it's going to be around that second inner clip. I think there, and then going in through the fourth outer zone to the final inner clip. A couple areas there where if the lead isn't set up just right, it's going to make it difficult for the chase. And then maybe some fun stuff to watch, that's for sure. Fun stuff
Yeah,
to watch.
I agree. With no decel zones on the course, you can't really bite off more than you can chew. If you get going too quick, it's going to be hard to make the next corners without getting in the way of your chase driver.
The tires are warm. And I think we're all just ready to get going. Here we go. Our drivers are getting in their areas. And then I believe we're ready to go. They're finishing up the final warm-up runs. And our first run is going to be Juan Reeves against Michael Veras.
Judges are just kind of chatting amongst themselves, getting ready, making.
All right, here we go. We got Michael Veras and Juan Reeves making their way to the line right now. Tajon Reeves, ready to go. Michael Veras, 2 Corvettes. Let's send these gentlemen off for the first battle. Our top 32. Here we go. We take off down the start, clean initiation. Michael Veras jumping onto the door of Juan Reeves. Keeping it clean as they move through the second inner clip. Door-to-door action. We have smooth transitions, very clean lead, making it easy for Michael Veras to get on the door. Mr. Reeves there.
Very good run.
Good run to kick off the top 32, that's for sure. Nice and clean from these gentlemen.
We're going to swap these guys around, let them pull back up to the line. There's is going to be leading, Reeves chasing. We're all set to go, waiting for those lights to drop. And away they go, they have been sent. There's with a wide initiation, real smooth, allowing Reeves to get right there in the pocket. Reeves matching that angle terrifically. Both drivers grabbing all the zones. Reeves diving very close and giving a tap or two on the door. And across the line they come with a very close battle.
Very close battle indeed. Oh man. We are going to fly into these replays and see these run side by side and see what we can dissect here. Brought to you by Boundless Racing. And we have clean transitions from side to side. Very ideal, what you want to see, especially in run 2. Michael Veras, very good, confident lead, but I mean, you can't take away from Reeves either. I mean, he also had a very, very confident lead as well. Judges have a difficult job today, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is textbook drifting right here. We've got 2 drivers, 2 great leads, amazing mimicking of the angle, and great proximity in both the chases. No tires dropped, no zones missed.
Yeah, it's in run 2 there, coming through that second inner clip, that dive in there from Reeves, he kind of had to make a little bit of a compromise almost, it looked like, to get onto the door to make sure he didn't get away there. Had to sharpen up the angle just a touch. But, he stuck with him the whole time, stayed in the pocket, didn't really surge too far forward. Michael Veras, I did notice in the final inner clip, his nose got a little bit forward in the pocket, but I mean, he was still stuck on the door, just kind of more wheel to wheel rather than wheel to door. But
Yeah, I definitely
overall,
agree with you there.
fantastic, I mean, performance from both of these guys. So.
Just gonna wait for the judges to come in with a deciding factor on who might be taking this short little battle home. Quite a battle for the top 32. I mean, this is some of the driving you expect to see later on in the competition. We're seeing it right away.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the fight is on very early on in the top 32, that's for sure.
And we have a call.
You have a call, and it is a all the way across OMT. So we are going to come back to that battle.
There's not enough there to make a decision. Both drivers really put on a good show.
Next we have Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor and Anthony Norfolk. Taylor leading and Norfolk in the chase. All right, we have Anthony Taylor leading Anthony Norfolk. The lights are dropping. And here we go for battle number 2 of our top 32. Anthony Taylor flicking it in. But Norfolk close on his door, not letting him get too far away. In a safe distance, that could come back to bite him if he doesn't stay close. Big tire drops on the inside in the chase from Norfolk. Anthony Taylor is staying very calm and collected up front. And a little bit inside of that clip. But ultimately, less mistakes than Anthony Norfolk in the chase. There was a little bit of maybe a potential issue on, that inner clip. Kind of looked like he, Anthony Taylor in the chase, maybe shallowed up a little bit of angle, made it hard for Norfolk in the chase to get in that pocket. But us commentators just have a little drone view that we're making happen. So we don't have all the cool angles, but we'll see what the replays have to show later on.
Yeah, definitely left something on the table for Taylor to kind of certify the win on this battle in his chase. And we'll have to see the leads back once this is all done. Norfolk is going to take off in that big Mustang, throwing a major flick into the first zone. Not too tight on that inner clip. Full coverage of both of the outer zones. Taylor trying to hold on. Norfolk is trying to pull away, it almost looks like. Going a big angle into the last corner, and Taylor is right there with him. Not making too many mistakes in the chase. Trying to keep up with him.
Trying to stay close. We go to the replays. See if we can dissect this any further. I really want to see that second inner clip in run 1, and we're about to get to it right here. Well, maybe I was a little bit wrong in what I said at first. It looked like Anthony Taylor was actually pretty smooth. So
I'm seeing the Mustang of Norfolk trying to maybe hold that car back and keep it on the same line as the BMW, but going a little inside on the inner clips, and then maybe even going a little outside, especially at the end there, got a little bit choked up. And we do have a call. We'll see which way the judges want to go on this.
one going Anthony Taylor, 2, and 3. All 3 judges going Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor will be moving on to the top 16. All right.
Next up, we will be going back to the one more time of Reeves versus Varus, the 2 Corvettes that put on a great show 1 run ago. And we'll see what they can bring for run 2. Ideally, we want to see something like their first run again. They're going to have to battle pretty hard to do that again.
Absolutely. These drivers are clearly putting it all on the line already. And they got to do so to keep moving on. So we're getting quite the show already. We have Dijuan Reeves leading Michael Varus right now. 2 Corvettes. 2 very clean Corvettes. 2 teammates as well. And who will be the victor? We will find out in a moment. Reeves in the C6 flicks in. Michael Varus really needs to dive in and get on that door. Leaving a little on the table right now. No tire drops on the inside. Reeves grabbing every inch of zone 3 and 4. Michael Varus moving on the inside just a little bit, but not letting Reeves get too far out of his sight. Fantastic first half of that battle.
Very good, very well controlled. Left a little on the table in terms of flair. It looked maybe a little too controlled in the chase. It was a good lead with a couple bobbles, so I would have expected a little more aggression in the chase. It kind of looked like he was waiting for a time to dive in and didn't do it until a little far into that run. We'll see what happens when we switch them around. All lights are flashing, they're going down, and we are green and ready to go. Bears in the lead, Reeves in the chase. Bears throwing a huge snap to angle. Looked like Reeves might have dropped a tire on the inside there, but he's right there in the pocket, being real aggressive. Into the second inner clip they go. Bears running a very smooth lead line with a ton of angle, but Reeves is right there in the pocket.
Oh,
what
man.
an amazing chase!
I think that was what needed to be done in the chase in that position right there. You know, that's the kind of aggression that Reeves needed to bring to the table, and he brought it.
Yeah, he definitely brought it, that's for sure.
As you watch these replays, his lead too, I mean, so snappy. Snaps to angle, stays right locked into it. Michael Varus is really smooth in his lead. And but I feel like he left a little bit on the table in the chase. I feel like if he was a little bit closer in the beginning, but we'll see. Looks like we have a judge decision coming our way. Judge 1, Paul, is going to go with Reeves. And all 3 judges are going to give it Dijuan Reeves, who's going to move on to the top 16 and go against Anthony Taylor. Will be that, but now we have to move on to our next battle between, I believe it'll be Peter Nemeth and Nick Donato.
They are already at the line and ready to go.
All right, the light is dropping and we are off. Tires are spinning off the line. Big flick to initiation, but Nick Donato is falling behind. Not getting up to where he needs to be. He comes in a little bit closer, makes contact, and is falling back again. Peter Nemeth keeping it together and flying down this course, but Nick Donato, not a good start to this battle for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, Nemeth running a great lead run, just like qualifying, really putting an accent on all those zones. Nick Donato I think he's surging at just a little bit wrong time, maybe a little late, where he gets to the door right as Nemeth is going to start to transition again, which is not where you want to be. And we'll see what happens when we flip him around here. And we are off. Donato throwing it in. Pretty good start, filling all the zones. Nemeth is there, but a little bit of a wobble. And going into the last sector. And across the line. We're going to look back at these replays and see if we can deduct what's going on.
Absolutely. Sorry about that, Dan. My drone controller disconnected for a moment.
All good. Got the stream up.
Yeah, big mistakes in the first half of that run, unfortunately. I don't know if that's going to be enough, if there was enough time to make up for that.
Nick Donato a little shaky in his lead. But a bit of a late initiation for Nemeth in the chase. And Nemeth is going to take that with all three judges' votes.
And up next, we have Kogan Cavish against William Holloway. Kogan Cavish in that lead position. William Holloway in the chase. Our drivers are on the line. The light is going down. And we are off. Here we go. Good initiation. William Holloway diving into the pocket. Kogan Cavish grabbing the zones where he needs to. Getting really close to that inside line, as is William Holloway. William Holloway making his way onto the door of Kogan Cavish through this final zone, but fading back just a little bit towards the end. We'll have to see what happens whenever we flip him around the other way. Definitely putting it all on the table.
Cavish definitely flying through the course with a lot of momentum. And Holloway, I feel like, was just trying to hold on there. Didn't get too many opportunities to dive in until the end, where might have dove in a little bit more than the group he had. So we'll flip him around and see what happens. His lead, Cavish in the chase. These two beautiful green machines. Lights go green and away they go. Holloway with a big entry. Cavish is right there with him though. Decent proximity. Gonna look to dive in a little bit here. Over angling a little bit, but staying with him in the chase. Holloway running a great lead run. Maybe dropping a little bit of tire on the inner clip, but overall a very smooth run.
Really smooth. You know, whenever we see him side to side, I feel like we might be able to spot some things. But man, at first glance, a little even, but you know, the side to side action from Will seemed a little bit more committed at times than what we saw from Cavish in the lead. But you know, even with the side by side, sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah, Cavish definitely bringing the aggression. Very similar leads.
Really similar leads. It just seems like, oh no.
This one's hard to pick apart. Yeah.
It is hard to pick apart. But there was a little bit of contact at the very end of run 2. I wonder if that'll factor into what's going on here.
Yeah, definitely. We'd like to see close proximity, but I feel like the judges are going to be a little picky about if you're going to tap the lead driver Even if it doesn't mess them up, it might be a bit of a deduction on your points. We want to see good controlled chase runs.
All right. It looks like we do have a decision. And Paul is going to go to Holloway. All three judges going to William Holloway. So the main point of the decision on that battle was Kogan Cavish exceeding that inner clip, that third inner clip, excuse me, at the end of the run there. So got to make a decision somehow, and that was the deciding factor, one of the main deciding factors of that run.
Just dropped a little bit of tire, and that's all it takes.
All right. All right, our next group is going to make their way into the server. And they're going to get one quick practice lap, and then we're going to hop into our next group.
Just enough to shake off the cobwebs. Reset your mind to the track you're on. These drivers practice all week long, but sometimes it is very helpful to get one extra run in right before you run. Give you that little bit of a benchmark to go in.
Absolutely.
Everyone's got their warm-up run done. We will bring our next drivers up to the line.
All right. Our drivers finishing up, joining in. We'll kick this off. Woo! All right. All right. Now we are going to have Borovec leading Gamborski. All right.
Once again, we are asking that you limit yourself to just one practice lap so we can get this show moving. We want to see the competition.
All right. Like we are lined up and ready to go. Drivers in the right positions. Orovec in the lead. Zamborski in the chase. Lights are going to drop and we're going to go. All right, we're off. Two fairly long cars here. Good initiation from Orovec. Zamborski diving onto the door as they get through the first and second outer zones, leaving a little bit of room to dive in on this second inner clip, and he does dive. Fades back just a touch, but Orovec riding on the rails. Fantastic lead run. for Zamborski to follow, but man, that's pretty aggressive driving in the chase there. A little apprehensive at times, but exciting to watch.
Yeah, it was a textbook lead run. Definitely going to leave a high standard for Szymborski to do in his lead run. Let's see what Orvek can bring in his chase. The lights go down and away they go. Szymborski throwing it in with some huge style into the first inside clip. Maybe dropping a tire in the first outer zone. Orvek is right there with him. Being extremely aggressive. Can't fit a piece of paper between them. But gets a little too close and pushes Szymborski completely off the track. That is going to be detrimental to his success, I think.
Big contact. Big contact.
Huge.
So we'll see what that replay looks like, but I don't know. I think your initial assessment of what happened was correct, Dan. I think you're spot on. We'll watch it back here and see what happens. Yeah, some pretty big contact there. Pretty big contact from the chase. Seems smooth in the lead, but we don't have the telemetry on our end, so hard to tell.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to call anything, but
No.
it definitely looked a little suspicious.
Woo! Needed that big gulp of water. That felt good. Man, I really like the flick to initiation from Szymborski. He has good commitment, but he does drop a tire at least in the first outer zone in his lead run.
He sure knows how to swing that thing around.
He does, though. He's got great control of it. But I mean, that contact is really, I think, what it's going to boil down to. You know, it's hard to avoid something like that whenever you look at anything else. But you know, all things considered, if the contact does end up being on Orvek, I don't know if that tire drop matters, but hard to tell. It really depends on who's at fault. So the judges are doing their job and analyzing this run, and I'm sure we'll have a great call.
It looks like the judges are seeing something and taking a little extra moment to check this out.
We have a decision coming through from the judges. Like we have all three moving towards Orvec. And the judges have determined that Zamborski was at fault for the contact. He was off throttle pretty significantly at that fourth outer zone going into the final inner clip. And they deemed him at fault for the contact. So up next, we have Garrett Shaw against Braden Swan. We're going to make sure production is ready to go. And our judges are loaded in and they can see everything. And we're going to fire these teammates off to battle. I got to inhale a burrito very quickly, and it gave me the life that I needed. Fantastic stuff, let me tell you. Nothing like a good burrito for the soul.
Yeah.
You know?
Really warms the heart.
Eh. Do enjoy burrito. Burrito enjoyer. Two V8s going head to head here. One's a Mark V, one an E36. All right, our light is about to drop. We're going to send these boys off. And here we go. Garrett Shaw in the lead. Swan in the chase. Swan in the pocket where it needs to be. Bumper to bumper transition between the first two outer zones. Braden Swan not letting Garrett Shaw get too far out of his sight as they get into this final transition and finish out the track. Fantastic lead, great chase. Something you'd probably expect to see from two teammates that drive together a lot, but awesome show for the screen. Love to see it. We're going to flip them around, have Braden in the lead and Garrett in the